welcome to Eve Singularity. I'm majorly pissed off right now. Okay, so where we left off, basically, was that this alliance had wardecked up 4. Up 4 had wardecked this alliance. This corp was is a member of this alliance, the Defender Alliance. This corp was a member of the Aggressor Alliance. And when I left, I got both of them to leave, and then I got them to rejoin, but only this corp was able to. This one wasn't, and I've been doing it during the cooldown. So let's read it. Wardecs begun, blah, blah, blah. So this was on the 11th. And it's been just over a day, almost 2 days. Okay. Alright. And the war was invalidated because I did not have any money in my wallet, and therefore it invalidated the war against Op 4. Okay? I'll bring that up just to make sure everybody's on the same page. So Alliance Leader is this one, and up for test Rando Porcelains is this one, right? And this one just recently left this alliance. So this, it was attacking, okay? And it had a timeout, and during that timeout, the join alliance option was grayed out, okay? But you see, after it timed out and I'm no longer at war, I am no longer part of the relationship, and it gets twisty here because this is exactly the same mechanic as the other way around. When I I recently left Exidium with Omnon Corp on Tranquility, and Holdrup was able to wardeck me immediately, pretty much. But they wardecked as before. They'd lost their HQ, but it was less than 2 weeks after that HQ. And I was like, what the? It's because you leave an alliance, it doesn't recognize the relationship you had with your aggressor, because the only relationship the system knew was with the alliance entity, and it did not recognize sub-entities. So once you leave that, and the cooldown ends, it doesn't recognize any part of that relationship. So you can rejoin the alliance, and that's how Wherefore can do it. That's how they can leave the alliance, have 0 in, escape it, plant their new HQ, be outside of that window. As soon as they finish anchoring it and fitting it, they can rejoin the alliance, because they're not considered as an aggressor. Wherefore Alliance is considered an aggressor. I know, it's completely counterintuitive. Trust me, this is the way it's working, because I can go right here, go into Corp, Alliance, go into Applications, and I can accept this. Okay? Now then, there is some kind of notification. Somewhere, I forget where, and I forget the exact notification, but somebody gets a notification that Yeah, it's complicated. I'd have to show you. It's hard to remember. It's so twisty. So I've now 24 hours later from now, I'll rejoin this aggressor alliance against Op4, where when I was timing out, I wasn't able to because it somehow for 24 hours recognized me as an aggressor against Op4. I know it's completely screwed up, but believe me, once you understand it, you will. Yeah, I'm sure you're with me so far. I'm just trying to talk myself through it, I guess. So I can totally leave this one right here. I can go quit alliance. Bye-bye. Gone. Just like that. I can also wait for it. Alliance leaders. And it's not graded. Yeah, just like that, right? Okay. There we go. And 24 hours later, once I accept this, there you go. Ta-da. And guess what? So when I join the aggressor, the defender doesn't get yeah, look. It does not warn the defender that corporation has joined your aggressor alliance, but it will let the aggressor know that a defender has joined, another corporation has joined the defender alliance. I know. Tell me about it. It gets, yeah, it's hard not to come to the conclusion that CCP is either deliberately or being, well, they make the harden the F up videos and all the other smart ass stuff they do. They must be deliberately doing this, or else they just are just so hand fed by the griefers. The something awful griefers. Yeah, that's for sure. It's just what the all the things that are designed, like uh, allies for a defender you can't rep each other. Only inside the same alliance can you rep without getting concorded in high sec. So keep those green safeties on. You cannot rep an ally in a war when an ally of a defender, they can't rep each other. Only if you're inside that alliance, literally, can you rep each other. One corp inside an alliance can rep the other corp. But an ally for a defender, nobody can rep without getting concorded. That ally and vice versa. I know it's screwed up. I know it's screwed up, and even if the thing is, I think the reason they disallowed it was because people like Wherefore would scream bloody murder, and the low sec people would too, because they fund people like Wherefore for sure. I mean, they encourage people like Wherefore. I'm sure a lot of the null sec griefers are forming people like Wherefore. It's just these people have a voice with CCP, and they would scream bloody murder if an ally of a defender could be repped and vice versa. Guess why? Because an ally, if they could rep a defender and vice versa, would not be able to do so if one of the parties, if one of the parties had an aggressive war against somebody else. If you had a bunch of people, like 4 people, war decking that one corp, it would be super easy if say, okay, so say X, no, say W was the defender, and X was the ally. If you had four Ys all war decking W, X could totally ally up on all four of those, and they'd be free and clear for repping each other. Now, if W aggressed war decked Z, and Z showed up during a battle when, say, a whole bunch of, or one or two or more Ys were attacking W, who was the DPS force, X was the Logi, bear with me, so far I'm on track, X could no longer rep Y. Get it? They couldn't, because of green safety. If they tried to, they'd have to go to red safety, and then they'd just get concorded. So the reasoning is that I think CCP didn't do it is because the griefers would cry and cry and riot because they wouldn't be able to do it. Because they, like Wherefore has like dozens of war decks, and if one person war deck them, they cannot get a defender to rep them. And be like, not fair, you can't do it either. Yeah. And it's like, well, that's because you're a freaking griefer. No, you don't get that. And so I think it promotes if allies could rep the defender, and vice versa. It would be, how would I put it, pro Care Bear and the HTFU. You know, they were serious when they made that video. This is their mentality. This is not just a parody on the griefers. No, this is their mentality. This is their mindset. So don't expect them to ever change it. Keep it in mind. Everything is, our dice are loaded. All we can do is just do our best, and against a system just forged against us. But they will never do it openly. They would never come out and say, we want PKs, we want TKs, we are celebrating griefers. We want bullies in this game. And that's what they are. They're scam artists and bullies, and people who want to milk salt, which is kind of mean because the rest of us just want to mine in space and pretend to be astronauts exploiting the riches of the universe. Why not? I'm not interested in going to nullsec or warm space because it's A, nomadic, and B, we yell it a lot and we attack people for what? You know? So yeah, I mean, there are villains in the game. It's great to have villains. Yeah, you know, I mean, King Joffrey and all that stuff. Why would you actually want to cripple the ability of people to band together and help each other? Most of the people in Eve are selfish. They will not help you. They want help, but as soon as that's ended, they won't lift a finger. They've got other stuff to do. It's a game. You know, I want to go do my stuff. See ya. Bye. Good luck. Have fun. Thanks for helping us out. Bye. You know? So yeah, I mean, I cannot fathom the mentality of CCP when it just doesn't want to help the Care Bears. You know, give them stuff to band together because they're naturally just selfish. I mean, it's almost as if they worship nullsec's blocks and blobs because that's the only way they conceive of what is good in the game. And the Care Bears are just stupid and lazy and selfish, and they should be denigrated. And it's like, no, we're capable of so much more. And we are good. you're just worshiping the wrong good. And yeah, the lack of moral compass I am not surprised at, because 5 months from now we're going to remember Hilmar's famous frickin' bulletin about Breed's Good and his caustic memo disparaging the customer base, you know, for riding, you know. So yeah, I mean, this is classic EP behavior, and they just don't know where they're coming or going, and so we're in a relationship with a abusive overlord, and just, if you're playing a game, it doesn't really matter. They are not relevant because you just don't understand the game. But you have to realize when you're looking at mechanics like this that it is demoralizing to realize, wait a minute, we can't do certain things because CCP intends us not to do certain things. And yeah, I don't know where they get this angst from. Like when they came out with HTFU, it really shocked me to the core to see these people just gloating over the ability of others to ruin other people's games. And it's like, yeah, you can gloat, but you've made it so easy for these people to do, so you should be celebrating the other extreme, the ability to band together, but you're not, because A, you don't code for it, and B, you openly disparage it, you know, and, or you talk out of your side of your mouth with forked tongue, you know. It's all marketing for them, and it shouldn't be. It should be, we appreciate our player base. We don't appreciate real life bullies acting out in game. It should be not like this. And I think they've taken, it's like living in a world of Game of Thrones with crappy writing. It's like as if Game of Thrones was all season 8. You know? I mean, come on, guys. This is B grade movie stuff. Get real. Fix your stupid corporate infrastructure that you haven't fixed forever. Fix your crime watch. So, it's there's so, like, yeah, it's just. Sorry about that. Yeah, it's just when I delve into the mechanics and I bump into something that's just completely outrageous, that aggressors can wardeck anybody leaving a corporation, alliance, instantly. If they find out that a member has left an alliance they wardeck, they can get around that 2-week cooldown, you know. It's amazing. And if they're wardecking, they can shed corporation like crazy whenever they want. They can just 24 hours later, they can finish anchoring a new HQ and join back again to an alliance that they've just been disqualified for 24 hours from attacking or wardecking or anything the victim. And then after 24 hours, they can just do that? How can that make sense? How can that make any logical sense? So yeah, I'm just, when I just bump into stuff like that, that's just pure grief and greed. It's just greed. They want bloodshed. They want destruction. That's your only metric. And they want destruction and construction. And when you think of it that way, it's soulless. It's Stalinistic. You know, it's just like, what do you people like? I mean, we've read articles about there was a employee from the Atlanta office when they had the Atlanta office, and it described yelling matches in meetings, and the person who was loudest would get the squeak wheel. That is how they did make decisions, and Hilmar's all about record-breaking gaming articles that he just, his EP just whoosh. So it's like that kind of mentality. So as long as you focus on that and focus on I like Impossible Odds. I mean, I love this war. I mean, these domain guys are just big and evil and nasty and vicious and cruel, but two-faced, pretending they're great and sportsmanlike. And it's like, wow, this is great. This is like King Joffrey kind of stuff. It's like, these guys are evil. Um, and it's awesome to face an evil force that is just powerful and overpowering, that you learn stuff you normally wouldn't. Facing people like Wherefore, who just wardeck you and hope you bring the fight to them so they can just blow you up, you know, drag you down to their level and beat you with experience. And everybody goes in close to their Astor houses. It's crazy. I mean, it's like there's a proper way to defeat Wherefore types. I didn't learn a lot. I learned a lot about, like, I'm good at intel. I learned a lot about, I still learning, just, you know, compiling. It's pretty simple after all. There's Wherefore and his ilk have a limited bag of tricks. It's all meta, and they throw meta at you until they run out of meta, and they can't theory craft with shit, and it's just bullshit. And yeah, like Napoleon, it came in the same old way, you defeat it. It's super easy. I never worried a second about my clones, my assets, and I was getting complacent. And these guys shook my complacency up. I was able to test my fits, and I really liked my initial fit. It needed different modules, but the rigs were great, the fighters were smart. I got real smart, I got better, I got even better. And now people like Wherefore, it's like, if yeah, the local smack is so funny, but whatever. It is what it is. Take it as a learning experience. Do not get demoralized about the system weighted against the good guys, because there is something really cool about fighting against impossible odds. Even the mechanics are against you to make, and just think of the satisfaction it has to temporarily hold back the tide. I mean, it's like a Hydra. You just cut off one head, there'll be more. But the satisfaction of being able to cut one head off, pretty good. And that's where I'm at. I mean, there is no way anyone can form any kind of entity to hold back the tide of grief in this game. It's impossible. But it sure is cool trying, because it's the right thing to do. And the lazy thing to do is to take advantage of the system. And yeah, look at the politicians these days. It's too easy to take advantage. And the system is weighted. And yeah, it's not our place to save the world peace and all that stuff. But we can sure darn try.